I've located the next review. It appears to be Metal Gear. But before I move in, I'd like to give a shout out to Katophoenix for yet another great thumbnail.
Not yet, Snake! It's not over yet!
Liquid! Let's dive in and infiltrate Shadow Moses. Originally planned to be released in 1994 for the 3DO, but ultimately shifted towards the PS1 due to the 3DO's discontinuation, titled Metal Gear Solid due to the fact that the preceding two games were not widely known outside of Japan and, even then, were only on the MSX gaming computers. Development started fresh in 1995 from the ground up to take full advantage of the PS1 and to make, and I quote, the best PlayStation game ever. Metal Gear is an action stealth game built with the intention of being as immersive as possible as the PlayStation can manage. You are Solid Snake. Your mission is to infiltrate Shadow Moses Island, a remote military base in Alaska. Your goals while there are to rescue the DARPA chief, the Arms Tech president, to stop the terrorists from being able to launch a nuclear warhead, and to kick Liquid in the dick. For 1998 standards, the storytelling and presentation is phenomenal. Very few games at the time attempted to tell a story like this with so much detailing and world design, and even fewer succeeded at this task. At times, it feels like a movie, but unlike later entries in the series, they don't drag on for as nearly as long of a time. The gameplay is pretty damn great. It sets the modern foundation that the rest of the series after it would follow. The AI is pretty damn solid for 1998 standards. Strange noises draw the attention of guards. They'll follow footprints left in the snow and by water. If spotted, search teams will chase you down and attempt to flush you out of your hiding spots. Stealth is highly encouraged, especially due to the fact that the guards only stop coming after either a ridiculous amount of them are killed or you manage to give them the slip, leading to in most situations it being better to take them out one by one or sneaking past and hightailing it to another area if you do trigger an alert. Many bosses have tricks or weaknesses that help defeat them easier and can be learned either from trial and error or hints given by your support team such as Nastasha. The controls are solid, but can at times feel a little stiff compared to later entries. The game was designed to be played with a D-pad or analog stick. While the analog does offer a smoother movement, if you stop moving, it can make drastic changes in direction, forcing me to swap to first person and correct the movement so I don't collide with lasers and trigger a swarm of angry guards like a kid poking a bee's nest with a stick. But usually it works pretty damn well, and most of the time your deaths or damage is a result of your own bad decisions and timing. Keep in mind if you played later entries that a lot of the series staples such as ledge hanging and such do not exist yet, so don't try to jump a ledge and accidentally get spotted because a guard's walking your way and he sees you standing there like a dumbass. Ah yes, the classic genome soldiers. Smarter than your average video game grunt and physically enhanced too. You're better off avoiding encounters with them or sneaking up on them and snapping their necks rather than getting into a face-to-face shootout, especially when they've got the numbers advantage. Backing these guards up is wolves, security and gun cameras, and the memorable foxhound who serve as most of the game's bosses. All highly skilled and just raring to take you out. Each boss has their own gimmicks and style, something you're best off learning quick or you're gonna get your ass handed to you. Each also has their own weaknesses, some of which I have told to you if you ask your support, and some you just have to work out on your own. But they are all a very memorable band of characters and make the experience more enjoyable. The atmosphere is excellent. From great sound design, excellent use of lighting and visual effects to smart enemies and great attention to detail. The atmosphere is extremely immersive and helps draw you into the experience, making you care for the characters and the situation at hand. The atmosphere still holds up over 2 decades later, and that's pretty damn impressive to me. Without a doubt, one of the best parts of this game and franchise, bar none. Sure, the graphics are pretty, but the great sound design, quality voice acting, and excellent musical scoring seriously help enhance this game's longevity. Because graphics will age, but good music and gameplay stay good forever, in my opinion. That's why games like Resident Evil 2 are still so much fun to play after all these years. Not to mention the detail in sound design, such as the splashing of puddles alerting nearby guards, the snap of an enemy's neck, the game over voice work adding emotion. It all goes towards enhancing this game's polish. Visually stunning for 1998 and still holds up strong for 2019, there's a lot of pretty damn fine detailing in this game, such as the fact that water puddles reflect their surroundings, the movement of chains in water causing ripples, a gentle snowfall in outdoor areas, and quite a lot of little details in the environment, such as a PS1 located in Dr. Emmerich's office. The game runs smooth, and I've noticed no performance issues at all. Overall, it's pretty well optimized for the hardware of its time, and it runs really nicely in an upscaled resolution on my PS3. Well, first off is the gameplay. If you're a run and gun action sort of person, look elsewhere. This game is the most rigid in its enforcement of stealth gameplay. If you try to play this like an FPS, you're just gonna end up with a lot of bullet holes and shrapnel. That's not saying the gameplay is bad. By no means am I saying that. It just means it's not for every type of gamer. The second up is cutscenes. They can run on for a bit at times, but they can also be convenient for buying time and refocusing between the action, such as for the infamous torture scene, which I'll get to in a moment. But the extra cutscenes and dialogue can be used to buy yourself time between sessions, to rest your arm and get ready for another go. Now, the biggest complaint I have with the entire game is the torture scene. Personally, I do like how it's set up and the fact it's high stakes. If you lose, well, I'll let Ocelot fill you in here.
When your life reaches 0, the game is over. There are no continues, my friend.
I find the tone it sets is great, but goddamn is it stressful both on the controller and your arm. If you're not mashing as hard as you possibly can the entire way through, your arm will run out of steam and you will die. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 survival coins, but I will say the scene does have an excellent story and atmospheric impact, and that is pretty much the downside in Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid, whether you love it or hate it, is a cultural landmark for a reason in video games. It does a lot of first for gaming and raises the bar in other areas. It's by no means perfect, but given the fact it's still a lot of fun to play 20 years later and what it represents to gaming as a whole, I'd say you're truly doing yourself a disservice if you don't at least try to complete this game once. Well, now that we've completed this review, I'd like to give one more shout out to Katophoenix for her lovely artwork. Please be sure to check her work out below. And while you're down there, feel free to check out our social media, Discord, and other ways to support the channel. Thank you for watching. This has been Core, and I'm signing off.